All right, so like I said, I was going to come back and do this after I got a chance to watch the game, and I literally just finished wrapping up. So I decided to spend most of my time keeping up with Pat Will, and I found myself um, forgetting his presence on the court. And I don't want to dig too deep into this. This is a preseason game. I know he played in summer league and stuff, but I really found myself like his presence that he has in his media day is kind of like the same presence of him that I saw on the court. Um, it was like I just really forgot he was on the court at times. And like I said, I don't want to say that's who he is as a player in general because I have not watched him, but I really didn't notice him at times on the court. Now, with that being said, he's got some size to him. I'm not sure if he is 6'9", 6'8". It looks like he could be 6'8", but to be real, most of the time he was kind of hunched over out there, so I really can't say. He's definitely bigger than Lonzo, who is legit 6'6". Um, but Jaren Jackson Jr. seemed like he stood over him with a decent enough amount of size. So, and Triple J is 6'11", so I'm not quite sure what his actual height is. Um, my bad, y'all. I'm a little tired. Um, what I will say is this. Um, I feel like, and again, this he's only played 6 minutes per quarter essentially, with the exception of like the third quarter. I think they've let him play like 7 or 8. But look, he's played all of 22 minutes, since his injury. So there's not a lot for me to, I guess, quote unquote, take from that. But wow, DeRozan had 19 points. I really, he was missing so much. I'm surprised he got 19. But I mean, he looked like he can knock down his threes really well. That seems like that followed. Outside of that, I'm gonna have to see a lot more of him before I can really say. Um, Vooch was hitting this game. Like I said yesterday, he was 11 of 14, showing 78.6%. Um, he only was 1 of 3 from three, so that's still concerning. But you know, DeRozan, since I mentioned him, he seemed like he's hit a three in every game so far. I'm not saying he's like an efficient 3-point shooter at all, but the fact that he's been able to at least hit one, in some games he even hit two, but the fact that he's hit one in every game, to me, that could be a good thing. You don't want him taking a bunch, but hey, if you got to take one and he's open, and you know he can at least knock down one a game, that's solid. I can't complain about that. That's good. Um, I will say this. Throughout the preseason, it seems like it's rotated. Zach had a good night. Zoe had a good night. DeRozan had a good night. Now Vooch had a good night. Um, and so we'll see what happens. But that seems to be like the course. Like it was carried by at least one of those guys um, during the game. Outside of that, their defense is solid. There's some things um, that I saw that still bothered me, like stretch four, stretch fives are probably going to be a problem for this group. Um, Triple J was killing them, and they really didn't have an answer for it. Uh, they were having issues with Cleveland with Laurie, um, and so that's one of the things that I thought was going to be an issue because now you're forcing Vooch to have to move his feet and guard people. You're in a pick and roll, and Your big is, say, Karl Anthony Towns, and he steps out to shoot a three. Well, guess what? You just lost your rim protection because he has to go guard him, and Karl can take him to the rack at any time and beat him. Um, so I don't expect him to do pretty good against teams where the stretch five or stretch four is actually hitting shots that night. Um, DeMar DeRozan, I know a lot of people are complaining about him and his like tunnel vision and other things, but let me say this: the thing that bothers me is DeRozan can't keep anybody in front of him. Like, and I'm not even talking about super fast athletes. Dude is getting beat by, guys who I wouldn't say would put money on in a track meet for any, length of, time. But I know he's never been that guy on defense, but that concerns me. We haven't really played a true, like, superstar or star level small forward, and he's getting beat to the rack by role players consistently. Um, I've always liked the Lonzo Ja matchup for Zoe, because Zoe has all the things he needs to like deal with Ja. But he's always going to. Ja's one of those kind of players who's going to. He's going to make a play, you know, and he did that. Matter of fact, let me go look at what Ja put up for the game. Ja had 17 points, 5 and 9 shooting, right? And you might say, okay, that's not, that's not a bad stat line. Um, but consider this: he only had 3 rebounds and 2 assists. Okay, and he had to go to the line, and he was 58% from the line. Um, so take away 7 points. Really, what you're saying is Ja had 10 points. Okay, he played 27 minutes, and you might argue, okay, well, he probably would have played 5 more minutes, so he'll get more shots up. But you held him to 9 shots in 4 quarters. That's 2 shots a quarter. We could talk about defense being okay. We limited a guy in percentage, but what about ball denial here? Okay, now Jaren Jackson took 18 shots, and he was 7 of 12 from 3. That's 58%. Um, but he got 7 rebounds. He had 29 points. He played 29 minutes as well, 2 assists. Okay, he was efficient. Steven Adams, 5 of 7, efficient. 10 points, 9 rebounds. That's just Steven Adams played 24 minutes. Let's just say 25, okay? Desmond Bane, 5 points, 2 of 10 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3. Horrific. He was a minus 16 the entire game. The only positive on the team from the starting lineup was Ja. He was a plus 2. I'm saying all this to say, this team, first of all, I don't care for Bane or Kyle Anderson. Let me just be upfront. The real 3-piece minutes here is Jackson, Steven Adams, and Ja. And then you got DeAnthony Melton off the bench, who was a plus 11 when he came in. 6 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 of 7 shooting. He missed all his threes. Brandon Clark, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 50% shooting, 66.7% from 3. He was 2 of 3. Zaire Williams, 8 points, 5 rebounds, no assists, 3 of 7 shooting, 0 of 4 from 3. So that means he missed all his misses were from 3, and everything inside he made. Okay. Most of the bench guys did what they were supposed to do. But Kyle Anderson, and again, these guys didn't play real minutes. This also isn't regular season, so let's not look too deep into this. But, I mean, Triple J put up 29. 7 of 12. There was not an answer. And we had our best power forward out there. Again, I'm not saying that this is indicative of what Pat Will can be, because, again, he was on a minutes restriction himself, and so he's still probably going to have to get his legs under him and stuff, too. but that was our best chance at stopping him, right? And Jaren Jackson ain't on the level of Zion and Giannis. That's one of the things that I fear. When we got to play the Lakers, that's one of the things that I fear, okay? Um, Potentially Philly, because they got Ben Simmons back, so he's probably playing. But let's talk about Lonzo real quick. Again, he didn't have a great scoring night. 2 of 8 from the field. He missed all his threes, 0 of 3, and he went, 1 of 2 from the line. Not a good shooting night, but he was plus 16. Okay, he had 5.7 rebounds, 6 assists. Um, Zach has 6 assists as well. Nobody else came close. Nobody else came close. Okay. Um, he's the only starter with double-digit plus minus. Now, I know a lot of people who were like triple single, and I get it. He's got to do better at hitting his shots. Okay, he hit 2 more shots, and he's got 9 points at worst. You know, if they're both threes, he's at 11 points. Okay, um, again, that's 2 shots a quarter. Okay, and the main thing, he actually attacked the basket. He was trying floaters, he was trying other things. I was glad to see that from him. Normally, he kind of shies away from the contact, especially in New Orleans. This is a welcome change. Nice to see him actually try that. Still think he needs to increase the mid ranges, but I don't think he realizes, or I don't think he's going to go to the mid range as much as I thought this year. Just looking at the preseason, he doesn't seem to take that many. He looks like most of his shots are going to come from three and from in the paint. Now, if we go look at uh, the shot distribution for this game, Zach had 18, DeRozan had 17, Vooch had 14. This is about where I had them all for the regular season. Now, here's the difference, too. These guys, with the exception of Pat, played starter minutes. DeRozan had 32 minutes and I'm just going to round 32 and a half minutes. Vooch had 31 and 15 minutes. Zach had 34, and Zoe had 30 and a half, right? These are starter minutes. So this would be their numbers for an actual game, most likely if they played. Why am I mentioning this? Okay, look at this shot distribution. Zoe had 8 shots. Pat Will had 6. Pat Will didn't play starter minutes. His probably bumps up to around 8, 9, maybe 10. DeRozan had 17 shots, Vooch had 14, and Zach had 18. Okay? Now, consider this. Caruso off the bench had 1 more shot attempt than Zoe. And Caruso played 5 less minutes. Now, I'm not saying that Zoe is going to always hit 8 field goal attempts a game. But there's no reason for you to be a starter, be playing more minutes, and Alex Caruso is still ending up with 1 more shot than you. Lonzo must, and I'm going to say this again, must have somewhere in the range of 12 to 14 shots a game at minimum. But again, there's only so many shots that can go out. If we add up all the shots of the starter so far, 6 and 17 is 23. Plus the 14 is 37. And then that's plus 18 is 55, if I'm not mistaken. And then Zoe's 8 is, 63. It's 63 shots. The bulk of them are taken by the 3 scorers of 20 points or more. Okay? And then he's the 4th guy. I said he was probably going to be the 4th option. Judging by shot chart distribution or field goal attempts, he's the 4th option. Okay? He's going to take his where he can get them. And Pat Will is more the same. He's the utility guy. Zoe is probably another utility guy in here with the rest of these guys. But he's got to get his shots up. No reason for this. He needs to be in that that I would prefer him to be around that 13, 14 range. Okay. Even with this being said, I don't think DeRozan is going to take 17 shots tonight. I think he's going to be around 15. Okay. Vooch at 14, that's about right. That sounds about right for me. I think DeRozan took a couple more shots than I would have thought he would have taken. Um, if we were to give those shots to somebody, they're probably going to go to Zoe. And so that's where his shots will be. I will also say that they missed him on some cuts tonight. If they hit him on some cuts, he will end up with like 10 shots here, and he'll probably have like 9 points or 10 points or something. Okay. The free throws. He's been missing some of these in the preseason. I do not like this. Um, I do not like this. He's 1 or 2 tonight. The other night he was 0 for 2. Okay. You just came off a season of hitting like 78%, bro. You got to be in the 80s. That is unfucking acceptable. Zach is sitting 9 to 10. DeRozan is 6 or 6. You got to bring it when it comes to those free throws. I will say the fact it looks like he's getting to the line every game. That's a welcome new thing. He didn't do that at all in New Orleans. That's nice to see of him. Um, Zach is Zach. Zach started cooking in the second half, particularly fourth quarter. He even asked to stay in at one point, and they ended up taking him out anyway. I don't blame them. The game didn't matter. Go ahead and sit it down. He got 31 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, 9 of 18 shooting. He didn't miss any of his threes. Okay. I will say, Zach got 5 turnovers. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. I'm going to say it again. Unacceptable. Those turnovers easily could have led to points for us. Could have been better shots. Unacceptable. And some of those were just like lost dribble and other stuff. Dribbling into like 3 or 4 defenders. You can't do that, man. You got to keep your head up. You got to look for your teammates. You got to do a better job of that. Now, he did get his one really good pass to Vooch. They got Vooch an easy 2 points, and I appreciate that. I like that, but still, 5 turnovers is way too much, especially on a team where we got passers and everybody's supposed to be moving the ball. Get that ball out your hands. Find the right read. Don't dribble into traffic. And, do your thing. Put the points on the board. Vooch, like I said, he's sucked like shooting the ball. And even tonight, he only hit 1 of 3 from 3. But everything else he had that left his hands was money. If you want to take away the 3 shots from 3, that means he was 10 of 11. 10 of 11. He only missed 1 shot inside the paint or inside the perimeter. Fantastic. I mean, you can't ask for anything more. He got 8 rebounds too. Um, this is what I expect of him. Okay. Now he did get 4 fouls, and I can't even lie. Playing against Ja, it's going to be hard to ask him not to foul. But this is pretty much what I expected him for the year. DeRozan, again, look, he took 17 shots. He's the second option. It's okay from game to game, but like I said, I would prefer him to be at like 15 for the year. He shot 35%, okay? 6 of 17. I mean, his shot has not seemed to be falling, but he does make up for it by getting to the line. Um, I hope that is a trend that continues to stay. But let me be real. People thought he was going to be an assist monster on this team. I don't think he's got more than 3 assists in any game in the preseason so far. If you thought this man was going to have the ball in his hand the entire game, you are sadly mistaken. And quite frankly, he does not look anything like a point guard. He looks like a guy who, if you give him enough space and put the right shooters around him, he can get in the pick and roll and he can make a play. Okay? He does not look like a guy who's going to carry your offense. And by the way, if you need any more proof of that, the Spurs have been nothing with him at the helm of their offense. Okay? So, him with the ball in his hands the entire game is not what you want anyway. 6 of 6 free throw attempts and shooting. I can appreciate that. Keep getting to the line. But Keep your head up. You got to make the right reads, and don't settle for like long twos, man. Get to the paint. Okay, use your teammates. You're smarter than this. Pat Will, like I said, sometimes you can forget he was on the court tonight. I'm not taking any of this uh, as serious. This was his first game. He was on a minutes restriction. He's trying to fill in, trying to get in. He's not trying to step on any toes. So I'm not tripping. Pat will be better. He will do better. So I'm not taking too much from this game. But I would like for him to have a bigger presence on the court. Uh, I think, like, okay, let me put it this way. Can you guys recall a play Lonzo made in this game? I can. The play when he bounced the ball off of Steven Adams and it went out of bounds. Okay, easy, easy to remember. Zach LaVine when he started cooking in the fourth quarter, and when he made that cut to the basket for the dunk. He also missed the dunk from DeRozan. Speaking of DeRozan, I remember that play he made. I remember when he got the ball and he tried to shoot it to him. I also remember the spin cycle play. I believe it was in the first quarter. Um, Vooch, I remember quite a few plays from Vooch. Um, but I think the play that stands out to me, I think it was a pick and roll situation, and Lonzo got him the ball for like a mid range jumper. Pat Will, the only plays I remember from him was the pick and roll plays, and I think both of them were from Lonzo. And it was Lonzo attacked the rim and he dished it out and he knocked down the threes. I'm not saying that, you know, again, he's a bad player. I'm not saying that because he's obviously good. But I remember some plays from some of these other guys, Troy Brown Jr., Javante Green, Alex Caruso. You know, some of these guys, they have a bigger presence on the court. I need him to have a bigger presence on the court. He's way too talented. He's entirely too talented for me to like not notice him in the game like that from time to time. Definitely need more from him, more actively on the court so that I can take notice. Outside of that, look, this is the final preseason game, and someone made it a point to say that both Phoenix and Milwaukee didn't win a single game in the preseason, and they got to the finals. We're 4-0, okay? This shit don't matter, okay? This was dress rehearsal. The real game starts Wednesday. They got Detroit. That's going to set the tone for the season. You need to go in there and show them straight up you don't belong on the court with us. And then you get BI and the Pelicans. Now, I fully expect them to win that game. But Brandon Ingram, who I remember reports there being out that he felt some kind of way about being like the second guy. He's going to be the guy, and he's going to go out here and look to put up 30 or more every game. We're going to have to contain him. You know, that's one of those games where I think it's a trick game. If you just sleep on them, they will get you. Matter of fact, both the Detroit games are too. That's why you could very easily end up being 0-3 to start the season if you're not taking it serious. And then it's a back-to-back, so we get Detroit the very next night. Okay? It is very important that we put the Pelicans down early in game 2, save the starters, and then have them ready to play the next night against Detroit. Okay? After that, the regular season really begins for us because we're going to start going through the gauntlet of teams. Toronto's, the Knicks, Celtics, Jazz, Philly, Brooklyn, you know, the Mavs, we're going to, Golden State, Clippers, Lakers, Denver, gauntlets of teams, okay? It's going to get hot and heavy real quick. Starting off 0-3 is not what you want. You need to be 3-0. You need to be 3-0, okay? No excuses. First 10 games, you got to come out, you got to be 7-3, 8-2, 7-3 at worst, but you cannot afford to come out here slacking and lollygagging. Um, it's go time, baby. It is fucking go time. So, like I said, I was gonna have this ready for you guys the day after. Sorry it's late, but I want to make sure I fulfilled my promise. So that's all I got for y'all. Can't wait to read the comments, and y'all have a good one. Peace.